everybody? Let me make sure I get the volume down on the music to a modest volume. Is that too loud? Let me know if that's too loud. I can barely hear it, but I know it's always different for you guys. But welcome to the live stream, the Q&A. I always love doing these things, man. Okay, let me figure out how to get this to loop. Random. There we go. It's on random. Cool. Like I said, I love doing these things. They're usually very more intimate, a little smaller, quite a bit smaller than normal streams, and just some supporters on here shooting the shit. And if there's a bunch of people watching who are not supporters of the channel, thank you so much for tuning in. You don't have to support the channel. I would, even if you don't support the channel, I would love you just to hang out and just be able to, I don't know, listen to my stupid shit. What's going on, everybody? I see Imperial Academy, Raptark, AT Chat, Psychotic, and Dalthier. Welcome to the stream, guys. It's good to see you. So yeah, I think I have like 14 questions from Patreon today. And I'll start running down the list in a bit. I'll just hang out with you guys for a little bit. So yeah, what did I do today? Today was like every other day, hanging out with my baby daughter. We walked to the park. It was awesome. A nice day. I like taking her up to the park, walking up there, and like I'll walk her up to different trees and she'll like play with the bark or different leaves and shit like that. She'll hesitate to touch the leaves, and then she'll look at me before she does, and then she'll go in to touch it when I'm not looking. Like, if I was looking like don't touch that, obviously she would probably pull back. But it's funny to me that she looks at me for permission almost. I don't know. It's just the cutest goddamn thing ever. I love it. But yeah, that's what I did today. I also recorded audio for a Night Sisters episode of the Clone Wars, which I'm hoping to get out either Saturday or Sunday. I also recorded audio and video for the Vader fan film review. I think my video is like 15 minutes long. I finished the audio, it's completed. I recorded one version of video, and by that I mean, you know how in some of my videos I'll have like multiple locations, like my kitchen or my fucking living room or my office, wherever. I like to kind of splice it up a little bit, do different locations when it comes to those, you know, basic review videos. So it's something like that. But yeah. What's going on, everybody? Dalthier, I just noticed by the message at the top of HG's chat, he's not a member of his own fleet, shakes head just disappointingly. What do you mean, at the top of the chat? I just noticed by the message at the top of HG's chat, he's not a member of his own fleet, shakes head disappointingly. I haven't posted in here yet. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Here's my question. Greedo, I can see you are a great father. I don't know about that. To your daughter, what advice would you give to me to ask this girl out that is so nice and ever so gorgeous? You're amazing, my friend. And then you have a little cringe face there. It's all good, man. We've all been there. I don't know, man. It sounds cliche, but honestly, just be yourself and go up and ask, you know. That's all. That there's no formula, and you know, nobody's an expert, right? There's no formula. There's nothing you could do right or wrong. You just go up and be nice and be yourself and ask. That's it. That's literally it. Just ask. I know there's probably a bunch of like just I don't know, critics in your own mind, people like inside your own brain trying to tell you what you shouldn't do. Be nervous. Tell them to shut up. And just ask, man. That's it. I know that's probably super cliche, but yeah. Let's see. Today I was waiting for this live stream. Nice. I'm just poking fun. It told you can't chat because you weren't. Oh, I see what you're saying. What the hell is this song? Alright. I'll keep it. Oh, it's Geographer. Okay. It's called LED Car Stereo. Was not aware this was on it, but alright. Alright, let's go with the some Patreon questions. How about that? The first question comes from Patrick Ferrara. Hey, happy holidays. Who is your favorite canon dark side user and favorite canon light side user? Cheers. Patrick, I am always... I honestly do not think that there's ever going to be a character who trumps Darth Vader for me. I know that's shitty to say, but that is a complete nostalgia, original trilogy fanboy asshole response, and that is exactly what I am. But yeah, for me, it's Vader. And to tell you the truth, Kylo Ren is a close second. I find Kylo Ren to be just an incredibly interesting character. He's one of the more layered villains that we've had in a Star Wars film, in my opinion. So yeah, those two are probably up there for me. When it comes to like the prequel era villains who are dark side users, you know, I like them a lot more in the Clone Wars. None of them really stick out to me as very I don't know how I could put it. I mean, yeah, Dooku feels a little generic to me. I don't know. Palpatine for sure, the Emperor. Just that whole arc of playing chess and coming to power through those means, you know, it's always interesting. But yeah, Vader. I'm boring. Vader. And my favorite light side user, man, dude, I'm super boring. I'm super boring. It's not anybody like. It's always funny whenever people like answer that question who have very, very obscure, at least obscure answers to me, like characters from one episode of the Clone Wars, and I'm like, really? That's your favorite light side user? A character that shows up in one episode of the Clone Wars? I don't know, but for me, I'm boring, man. Vader and Luke Skywalker. That's it. That's it. I apologize for being so goddamn boring with my answers when it comes to the things that I love about Star Wars. Who's your favorite light side user? Luke Skywalker. Who's your favorite dark side user? Darth Vader. Who's your favorite non-Force user? Han Solo. I'm boring. I'll report back in the next live stream if it has gone successfully. Yeah, man. Best of luck. Best of luck. Yeah, it's all about getting those nerves away. That's the only thing that's holding you back, man. That's it. Confidence is what it's all about. All about. So, at least for yourself, right? At least when, yeah, it'll work out. It'll be good. Vader and Kenobi for me. Nice. Solid choices. Luke's a good choice. We have faith in you, Imp. Hell yeah. Nice. I actually kind of dig this song. I don't know if you guys can hear it very well. Can you guys hear it very well? The music, or is it too quiet, too loud? I usually go with Luke, but I often remember the old canon books too, and it obscures what is and isn't canon for me. Yeah, I could totally see that. I never really jumped that deep into a lot of the Legends stuff. I was primarily the movies, the games, and a little bit of the comics in the past. You know, obviously I read Heir to the Empire at a book fair in like middle school. I think it was. Is where I got it. I think so. I think. Yeah, maybe. And then like the Phantom Menace novel and the Shadows of the Empire novel, I read all that, but yeah. Can hear it perfectly. Oh, awesome. It's at a pretty good volume. Okay, what volume is this? Can I check it without... 2628. Okay. 2628. Perfect. Alright. The next question from Patreon comes from Jim Nelson. I haven't looked at any of these questions, by the way, so usually there's a zinger in there that that I because I don't look at these in advance. Somebody usually puts something very, 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 very silly up, like about drinking their own pee or something, and I don't notice it until I scroll the questions up and see it. So it's always fun. It's always fun. Jim Nelson asks, are you more excited about The Mandalorian or Episode 9 in 2019? Definitely Episode 9. Definitely Episode 9. I'm more curious about The Mandalorian as far as what it's going to be. You know, for me, I think no matter what it is, no matter what the Star Wars thing is that's coming out in whatever medium it's coming out on, whether it be, you know, movies, games, comics, TV shows, whatever, the thing that I'm going to be most excited for forever and ever are the movies. I just see, when I think of Star Wars, I think of something big on a giant fucking screen, eating a bowl of popcorn, loud as shit speakers, and a crowd, right? So that's what I think of when I think of Star Wars, and I think that is what I'm going to always be most excited for when it comes to, you know, any future material. That being said, I am excited for The Mandalorian. It kind of goes without saying, but I'm more curious about The Mandalorian than super excited, you know? I hope it's... You know, I hope... I really don't know what I hope I want it to be, to tell you the truth. I don't really have any expectations. I haven't looked up any news for it, so I don't know really much of anything other than a few cast members that have been announced. And there was a picture of IG-88 or a very similar robot. But yeah, to answer Jim's question, Episode 9, yeah. Star Wars, for me, the things that I guess get most excited for, and probably most excited for moving forward, as long as Star Wars is around, are the movies. So, yeah. What's up, Darth Plagueis 45? Good to see you, man. Dalthier says, I think the thing about Episode 9 compared to Mandalorian is that Episode 9 is a new conclusion. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's... I'm curious the direction they're going to go, for sure. The next question, let me scroll up a little bit here. I was going to... Oh, shit, wait. Did I skip Paul? I skipped Paul, didn't I? Shit, my bad, Paul. I hope... You're probably watching this right now and going, what the fuck, Greedo? You skipped me. I did skip you on accident. Alright, Paul, so whenever you see this in a week or so, 2 weeks, whenever, I apologize for making you listen to the Q&A longer than you probably wanted to. Paul Robinson, New Year and the last Star Wars film in this trilogy approaches. What is the best and worst things that could happen in this film? Happy New Year to you and the family, my friend. Right back at you, Paul. I hope everything's going well for you. What is the best and worst things that could happen in this film? Man. Well, you know, my biggest fear with any Star Wars, any franchise, not even just Star Wars, but is too much fan appeasement, fan service, that kind of stuff, right? Like Ponda Baba in Rogue One. Oh, I remember that guy that gets his arm cut off. Cool. That kind of shit. C-3PO in Rogue One. Oh, I remember C-3PO. Cool. That kind of shit. I don't know. I hope there's not that much of that kind of stuff. And I think The Last Jedi really tampered down on that fan servicey shit quite a bit compared to The Force Awakens. It didn't have nearly as much. But in terms of story, Paul, I'm not fearful. I don't really think of it in terms of best or worst things that could happen. You know, I'm along for the ride. I think the best things that could happen for the movie are, to me, just twists and turns that you do not predict. I think when Star Wars is unpredictable, when it takes you off guard, when it catches you off guard, rather, is when it's at its best. You know, if everything is predictable and we know, I don't know. You guys know what I mean. Unpredictability is one of the biggest, story drivers, in my opinion. When you hook the audience with a twist and a turn and they never expected it, it's a satisfying feeling, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like opening a box and getting a prize you never thought was going to be in there, you know what I mean? I love it. But yeah. Paul, I hope a lot of people have been talking about a jump in time, you know, with Episode 9. A lot of people, I guess, are saying that it's going to be jumping a couple years into the future. Obviously, this is rumors. Obviously, I've been making videos for like 8 fucking years now, and I've seen thousands of Star Wars rumors come and go, and this is probably just one of those rumors. I hope they don't do it. I hope they continue with what they've been doing this trilogy and just making it start exactly where Episode 8 left off. Now, if they would have done it differently before, if they would have had a time jump between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I think I would have preferred it to, looking back, I think I would have preferred it to have a time jump. A little bit of time for things to breathe. A little bit of, time in between these movies for some non-film material to maybe teach us about exactly what was going on. And you know what I mean? But yeah, I know I'm kind of rambling there, huh? What's up, Mad Dog? Good to see you, man. Why are the most intense PUBG games so long? Because you're one of the last people, man, and it gets more intense and more intense and more intense as you go. That's how it works. At the beginning of a PUBG match, you're just like balls to the wall, rattling off your guns, just screaming on the microphone, just trying to kill anybody in Chernogorsky. Is that one of this? No, that's from DayZ, isn't it? Chernogorsky is in DayZ. Pochinki? Is Pochinki in PUBG or DayZ? I think it's in PUBG. But then when you're done with that initial start and it gets quiet, too quiet, and you see 10, 9, 8, 7 people left, and it gets more intense, more intense, more intense, and you have to play it safer and safer and safer, and it's longer and longer and longer. I love it. I haven't played that game in so long, but dude, the only reason I haven't played it is because my buddy who I play games with is sick of it. I don't understand why he doesn't want to still play it, because it's awesome. I haven't even tried the new map yet, so I'll probably fire it up soon and see if anybody wants to play it, you know. I know Andy, Star Wars Explained, is always up for some PUBG, so I'll have to ask him soon. What's up, Brandon? Phantasmic Ears, good to see you, man. Forgot to include my question. One sec, let me scroll up on here. Boom. All right. Forgot to include my question. Do you think you'd be up for streaming playing Red Dead Online sometime? Would love to play with you. I don't know if I'll ever stream or play it online. I launched the Red Dead Online over the weekend. Yeah, over the weekend. And I didn't get past like the part where you get free roaming. I just didn't have time to do that. We had to leave, but I don't know if I'll really get into it from what I've seen. The online aspect of it, I don't know. It looks neat. It looks fun. I'll probably give it a shot, but I don't think I'll ever stream it. It's just the kind of game that I like sitting on the couch with my controller, vegging out, and I don't think I would ever want to stream it, to tell you the truth. I could change my mind, but yeah, I don't know. I'm curious how the online works, really. I've seen a few review videos for Red Dead Online, but the videos that I've seen haven't really painted a good picture of exactly how it plays and what it is. So I'll definitely give it a shot. Will you still be up for playing it sometime? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I might be down for that. I'm trying to think where I got to in the online version. It was right after you get broken out of jail, all the beginning shit. But I didn't get much further than like... What did I do? I didn't get much further than like my first mission to find someone's... No? I honestly don't remember. Yeah. Jason96, hi mate. Just dropping in, still haven't had a question again this month. Still taking time for myself. Good. I'm starting counseling next week. Gonna kick this depression's arse. Turned out a lot of shit in my life around to make my outlook better. Hoping to go to uni. Oh, nice. In September, among many other things. Love your content as always. Hope you and the family are doing well. Well, I'm glad shit is looking brighter for you, man. It sounds like you're kicking some ass there and turning some things around. That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear, man. Best of luck to you. And yeah, I know a lot of people always talk about outside things, you know, for, I don't know, outside influences and outside things needing to go their way to make things get better, right? But I think a lot of it is internal. I think 99% of it is internal. And if you can turn that switch, then I think you're on the right track, you know, man? But best of luck. It's so weird hearing an American say arse. Arse. That might be the first time I've ever said it my entire life, to tell you the truth. I don't. I'm gonna have to look up how somebody actually says it. All right, get to the next Patreon question. Trojan of Narnia asks, "What is your favorite food?" Man. All right, there's two, and I'm getting specific here, Trojan of Narnia. All right, as my voice gets deeper. This is my hungry voice. This is my Arthur Morgan voice. And I'm here in the saloon. I'm wanting to eat something. Are you gonna give it to me? Alright, I'm getting specific here, Trojan. My first favorite food is a barbecue bacon burger from a place called Blind Rabbit. If you're ever in Jacksonville, you gotta go to Blind Rabbit. It is hands down the best hamburger place. Even if you just get like a plain cheeseburger, the meat, their brioche bun, it's just insane. But this burger has it's subtle on the bacon. I don't like overpowered bacon, but it's subtle on the bacon. It has like a barbecue jam on it. It is so good, dude. I'm usually one for, you know, the classic burger, right? I'm usually one for a classic burger, but at Blind Rabbit is one of the only places that I will get just kind of creative burgers like that, you know? So, yeah, barbecue bacon cheeseburger from Blind Rabbit is probably my number one meal, my number one favorite. The second favorite is at a barbecue place in Jacksonville called Mojo's. If you're ever in Jacksonville, go to Mojo's. And get the barbecue Reuben. It comes on like Texas toast. It's a big sandwich. It comes on Texas toast. It's like a barbecue place's take on a Reuben, right? So instead of corned beef, you get brisket. Instead of sauerkraut, you get coleslaw, and it's just. And they have like this kind of like vinegary barbecue sauce on it. It's insane, man. It's insanity. It's so good. So yeah, you want me to talk about those two meals further? I can. I absolutely can. Can you say "Run, Forrest" in that accent? Run, Forrest. That wasn't that accent. Run. Well, nobody said "Run, Forrest, run" in that way, right? The next question comes from Jai Wilkins. Hey Greedo, how you been? How would you feel about streaming a Star Wars D&D between you and your friends/fans, as I'm sure it's something people would like to see? That's a really cool idea. I love that idea. Yeah, I love that idea, absolutely. I don't know... I mean, my buddies aren't really into that kind of stuff, and I've never played like a Star Wars D&D. I haven't played D&D since high school, man. It's been... and I graduated in 2004, so it's been like almost 15 years. What? That's fucking hard to believe. That's crazy. My God, that's crazy. Yeah, I would love to do that at some point. You know, probably in the distant future, when I've given up the whole mask thing, when my daughter is my daughter and probably, you know, we're probably gonna have another kid in the future. When they're a little older and I can maybe travel a little bit more to do conventions and shit like that. But I would love to do something like that. 100%. Oh, one second.
There are some people who think that Ryan Johnson doesn't understand Star Wars. Or even isn't even a real fan, even though he grew up loving it.
Game Station 3, thank you so much for the super chat and the channel support. I greatly appreciate that. The Robot Reddit, and I'm going to read it too. There are some people who think that Rian Johnson doesn't understand Star Wars or even isn't a real fan, even though he grew up loving it. Yeah, that's silly fucks, right? You're not a real fan. You don't understand Star Wars. Really? What is Star Wars? Is every movie supposed to be the fucking Force Unleashed? Darth Vader shooting lightning? Is that what people want? Do they want Darth Vader to shoot lightning because he is super duper powerful? No, I think Rian Johnson understands Star Wars. He understands the Force. When he said in the behind the scenes stuff that he's never seen the Force as a superpower, I sat back and I was like, shit, I've said that for years on this channel. I've said that the Force is not a superpower for years. So I was like, holy shit. It's just kind of interesting, that parallel thinking there. No, I think he understands it. I find that there's different interpretations of what Star Wars is based on when you grew up, right? Maybe it's not just solely based on that, but that definitely is a factor. A lot of people like the Clone Wars is their number one Star Wars. The prequels are their number one Star Wars, and that's awesome. And then you get a little bit of that The Force Awakens influence, where everything has to be flips and crazy ass fucking lightning and insane lightsaber fights, and people just throwing shit at one another with the Force, and it turns into a superhero movie, right? I don't want that. No, I think Rian Johnson gets it. The idea that he isn't a real fan is such a stupid fucking thing to say. Imagine, like, that's just as stupid as calling somebody who likes a movie not a real fan, or dislikes a movie not a real fan. Like, that is such a... I hate that stupid shit in the fandom. You're not a real fan. You didn't like episode blank. You're not a real fan. You haven't read comic book 6. You're not a real fan. You didn't even know how they shot that scene. I'm a real fan. Fuck off. I don't know. Stupid, man. I'm sure, and Star Wars isn't the only fandom to have to contest with that, right? There's always goofy fucks who think they have the answers and they like the correct things in their TV show or comic series or superhero series. And they're equally as silly as Star Wars fans like that as well, you know?
Fly casual.
The fandom is a real death of the author problem.
Game Station 3, thank you so much for the super chat and the channel support, man. I greatly appreciate that. Death of the author problem. The fandom has a real death of the author problem. I mean, is that a phrase that I should know? The author. Is that like a common... Okay, what is this? The Death of the Author is a 1967 essay by the French literary critic and theorist. Let's see. TV tropes. Oh, TV tropes, okay. Death of the Author is a concept from mid-20th century literary criticism. It holds that an author's intentions and biographical facts, the author's politics, religion, etc., should hold no special weight in determining an interpretation of their writing. This is usually understood as meaning... Oh, interesting. This is usually understood as meaning that a writer's views about their own work are no more or less valid than the interpretations of any given reader. Yeah, okay, I get that. Intentions are one thing. What was actually accomplished might be something very different. The logic behind the concept is fairly simple. Books are meant to be read, not written. So the ways readers interpret them are as important and real as an author's intention. On the flip side, a lot of authors are unavailable or unwilling to comment on their intentions, and even when they are, they don't always make choices for reasons that make sense or easily explainable to others.
Those fans are the worst.
Jason96. One sec, man, one sec. That's interesting, Game Station 3. I don't think I've ever heard this term before. This, I'm actually going to have to look into this a little bit more. Smooth out the interpretation of it a little bit more. I think I get the gist of it. A narrator should not supply interpretations of his work, otherwise he would not have written a novel, which is a machine for generating interpretations. I like that quote. Umberto Eco. Don't know who that is, but I like that quote. It's interesting. Alright, I'm bookmarking that game station. I know what I'm reading in bed tonight. I'm reading about death of the author as a literary concept. Interesting stuff, man. Jason96. As a fan of Doctor Who, those fans are the worst. I believe it. I've heard very similar statements from Doctor Who fans, which is kind of a bummer, right? It's kind of a bummer. When I think of Doctor Who, and I've seen 2 episodes of Doctor Who, so I don't know shit about it. But when I think of Doctor Who, I kind of think of it as kind of a hopeful series about go-getters and...
Lindsay Ellis has a new video about...
Oh, not Game Station 3. Thank you once again, man. Give me one sec. But yeah, it's just kind of a shame. It's like... I don't know. I'm trying to draw a parallel. I guess maybe it's like with Star Trek fans. I'm a Star Trek fan, right? I love The Next Generation. It is my Star Trek. It's a hopeful show, an optimistic show of the future working together. I love it. But then I look at Star Trek Discovery. It doesn't really appeal to me. I haven't watched any of them. No. Plus I don't want to pay for CBS All Access, whatever. But it doesn't really look like my kind of Star Trek. So, maybe in the future when CBS All Access fails, it crumbles, and they get rid of that streaming service, and it's just on regular old CBS On Demand, maybe I'll give it a watch. I don't know. But I would never, just shit all over Star Trek Discovery or people that like it or be rabid because it doesn't appeal to me, It is a bummer that the franchise seems to be going in that direction rather than, the more... I don't know, introspective and kind of philosophical nature and scientifically driven aspects of Star Trek that I love so much, But yeah. And Gabe Station 3, Lindsay Ellis has a new video about it. I don't know Lindsay Ellis. Let me see. Lindsay Ellis, American Film Critic channel. Lindsay Ellis. Alright, I'll check that out. Death of an author. Product placement and fair use. Oh, nice. I've never heard of her channel. Alright, I'll bookmark this as well, Game Station. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. 30 minutes. The death of the movie musical. Huh. Alright, cool. I'll have to check this out for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Nice. All right. The next question comes from Dave Connor. Let me scroll up a little bit. Do you feel the new canon has done a good job at making Darth Vader a deeper, more complex character than how we have previously seen him? Specifically, looking at the various Vader comic series and his depiction in Thrawn and Lord of the Sith books. I've read the Vader comics. I'm actually still going through them right now. I actually don't know how much more I have left until I'm completed. But I've been pretty surprised with how good Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith is. I really like when Vader and the Emperor are conversing in the comics. Kind of servitude and Vader seems to be coping with not really knowing what happened in the past, coping with becoming a pawn of the Emperor, trying to find his place in this new order, and I like the concept of him hunting Jedi, and I like how it's taken place so far in the comic book. So yeah, I've been pretty impressed with that comic book series. I have not read Alliance yet, or is it Alliance or Alliances? Thrawn Alliances or Alliance? I think it's Alliances. Or is it Allegiance? What the fuck is this book called? Thrawn Alliances. Okay. Okay. I haven't read Alliances yet. I have read Thrawn. Really enjoyed it, and as we know, at the end of Thrawn, certain somebody pops up. So I need to hop into Alliances. But yeah, I've been pretty pleased with how, from what my perspective, what I have seen so far with Vader stuff in the canon. It's definitely added layers to him, for sure. And that being said, the Star Wars Theory Vader fan film that just came out is so similar in so many scenes and aspects from the Dark Lord of the Sith series. And obviously, I'm a big believer in parallel thinking. There's not much you can do with Vader and the Emperor. Obviously, there's going to be some struggles, right? There's going to, if somebody's sitting down to write their own Vader story right after he gets into the, like a year after he gets into the Vader suit, I think the stories would come out very, very similar, right? But oh yeah, that review video should be going up on Saturday. The Vader fan film review that I have. It's like 15 minutes long, I think. It's longer than the actual film, which happens all the time. Because I'm very wordy. Brevity is not a skill of mine. Oh man, I get so goddamn thirsty when I'm talking on microphone. Make what you enjoy, not what caters to people. If you like it and it caters, then cool. Yep, that is. I'm trying to read through that. Yeah, that is my philosophy right there, Dalthier. As someone, like, I don't make movies, right? But as someone who would make movies, I would never want them, ever want them, to cater or worry about what the fans are thinking or worry about what expectations are. When you get that shit in your head, I think it can kind of turn your brain into a blender and you start worrying about the wrong things. I think the most important thing that a creator can do is shut all that other shit off and just focus on what they want to make and nothing else. With as little input as possible, make what you want to make so you can be happy with the thing that you made. And if it fails to connect with people, that's okay. You made the thing that you wanted to make, right? That's the number one thing. So in that aspect, yeah, I would rather, yeah, you know what I mean. The next question comes from Devin Godfrey. Hey Greedo, I hope you had a great Christmas. Since I know you're a Braves fan, I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on the expectations for 2019. Additionally, who is your favorite Braves player currently on the roster? I would love to know Devin G. The front man, Freddie Freeman. Why not? It's weird how, well, I guess he's a good batter. He's a good fielder too, but it's weird how like certain, I almost said characters, but certain players just boom, overnight seem to become the face of a franchise, and Freeman certainly has done that. I don't really have much expectations, to tell you the truth. I haven't really followed extensively season by season the Braves in a few years. I used to have like the MLB package, and I used to watch the Braves all the time. I mean, 162 games in a season? I would maybe watch. I watch too many. Let's just say I watch too many. But nowadays, like the past couple years, I haven't really been paying that much attention. I live about 6 hours away from Atlanta, and every year, every season, I try to get up there for a game. Last season, I went to, or was it last season? No, it was the season before. It was the opening year of the new stadium. What was that? Let me see. Was it? It was 2017, right? Or no? Okay, 2017. Yeah, okay. Wow, holy shit, it's already been that long. The years are starting to run together. It's almost been 2 years since I've been there. That's fucking crazy, man. That doesn't make sense. Man, time flies. That's insane. But, Devin. Yeah. World Series, that's my expectation. No, but I'm actually thinking, me and my wife were talking the other day about, for my birthday once again, I always like going up there for my birthday and seeing a game, actually getting a hotel on the grounds, because they have that, I can't remember what kind of hotel it is, but it's like out in right field. You can actually get a hotel room that has a balcony that has a view of the field. From what I've seen, it's not the best view, but it's still a cool idea to be able to sit on your balcony, have some beers in the comfort of your own like pajamas, and watch the game. You could wheel the TV next to your balcony door and watch it from your balcony. It's just such a cool concept, you know. But yeah, Devin, I'm ready for some baseball. All right, let's see. Let me scroll up a little bit for Psychotic. What's up, Tom? Good to see you, man. All right. The next question comes from Psychotic. Hey, Greedo, my annual monthly question this time is, why do you look so handsome? No, seriously, since you are playing Red Dead 2, have you played Red Dead 1? If not, then you are in a good place to pick up when you finish the story. Which will be in like 2 months because everyone can't get enough of that game. P.S. Try to end the game with high honor. It's a better ending than with really low honor. Okay. My honor right now is... It's hard to put a percentage on. I'm trying to think. It's like... I would say it's at like 65. It's definitely in the high honor. I mean, like in the good side opposed to the bad side. Maybe it's like 70% in the swinging into the green, you know. Yeah, I'm probably gonna play with high honor the first playthrough, and then my second playthrough, I'm just gonna go ape shit and destroy everything on my second playthrough of Red Dead Redemption. I'm just going to rob, and just run through St. Denis with my carbine. Just like wreak havoc. That's my plan. But did I play Red Dead 1, you asked? I played... So I owned it on, the Xbox 360. I don't really remember playing it that much. When did it come out? Let me see. Red Dead Redemption 1. Let's see. 2010. Okay. Wait, I thought it was older than that. Interesting. 2010. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if... I don't remember really playing it at all. I know I owned it. I know I played it a little bit, but I certainly know that I never finished it. I never got very far at all in it. And I don't know why. I mean, you know me. I have a hard time sticking with single-player games unless they really, really capture me. So... oh, wait. Actually, let me see. I was going to say maybe deployment got in the way, but it came out in May, and I deployed in October of 2010. So yeah, maybe I was just burned out with it. I really don't know. But yeah, that's kind of a cool... Because this is a prequel, right? So it's kind of a cool idea to go back and play Red Dead 1. I'm assuming I could get it for the Xbox One. I'm sure it's cross-pollinate. Is that the correct terminology for when an older game can be played on a new system? Cross-pollinate. I'm sure you can play it on the newer system, right? Even though the graphics won't be better, it's a good game to play after Red Dead 2. It fits the storyline better. Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out then. I'm sure after I finish Red Dead 2, it certainly feels like the kind of game that I'm going to be bummed out when it's over, you know? I'm nowhere close. I'm not even in Chapter 3 yet. I'm taking my time and just exploring and trying to do as much as I can. Just living in the world, man. It's fun. It's a fun game. But yeah, I'll pick it up after Red Dead 2 for sure. I'll play Red Dead 2. I'll play Red Dead 1 after I play Red Dead 2. Looking forward to it. Alright, let me scroll up a little bit here. I never even thought to go back to Red Dead 1, to tell you the truth. All right. The next question comes from Orson Krennic. If you could ask George Lucas one question, what would it be? Cheers and happy 2019. Man, I don't think I would ask anything about Star Wars, to tell you the truth. Anything. I'm sure he's heard every single question about Star Wars. You know, I'm sure he's heard it all, from the interesting ones to the I don't know. Oh, one sec. All right, there we go. I think I would ask him something about like the movies that he wants to make, or the movies that he wanted to make but never did. You know, because Star Wars consumed so much of his life. I'm sure there's a lot of interesting movie ideas that he had floating around his brain, maybe even in a little notebook. So I would be very interested to know what George Lucas wanted to make but never did, or if there's anything that he would want to make in the future, right? That's what would interest me. Asking him about maybe future projects that he would want to work on, you know. That's really about it. Nothing about Star Wars. I mean, sometimes when there's like Q&As and stuff like that with George Lucas, or like when media people when media people when media people interview George Lucas, how often do you hear the same questions being asked? Not even George Lucas, right? Public figures. How often do you hear the same exact questions being asked to them, whether they're an actor or something like that on talk shows, late night talk shows? It's like the late night talk shows ask them the exact same questions, and it has to be so goddamn boring and frustrating. It has to be. So I'm sure George Lucas has had a number of really silly Star Wars questions. And then I love like whenever there's like an audience Q&A or something like that, and somebody asks a question about, you know, some shit that George Lucas doesn't know. It's not like I'm trying to think of an example. Well, the example that I always bring up is like, what color is Yoda's blood, right? George would just sit back and go, I don't fucking know. Green. And then everybody, oh my god, Yoda's blood is green. Oh my god, Yoda's blood is green. Like, it's just weird to me. It's weird. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let me take a sip of water real quick. All right. Next question comes from Grant DeRocket. Did I say that? Oh, DeRocket. DeCarrot. I apologize, man. All right. Grant asks, "Hey Greedo, I just realized 2019 will be the 5th year I've been subscribed to you. Wow. I don't get stuck. I don't stick with people usually for that long. Anyways, my question is related to your change of format from when you started till now. Back in the day when you made Star Wars changes, it was very much like Angry Video Game Nerd and Red Letter Media inspired, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. Oh yeah, 100% Grant. Those two, yep, hands down. Angry Video Game Nerd I will credit for inspiring me to make YouTube videos. Red Letter Media inspired me to make Star Wars videos. Now that's definitely not you anymore. Now you do more commentary videos that are more serious and wholesome. What was it that made you change your format? Interesting. Occasionally, Grant, I will do a little silly parody video. In fact, I'm working on one right now that involves a contraption called the Shitsucker 3000. So you'll see the Shitsucker 3000 in my one of my future parody videos. Looking forward to it. But what made me change the format? I do not know. I've been doing this for 7.5 years now. I'm a different person than I was 7.5 years ago. I just, I think a big part of it, I really don't know, man. I think it's just, I still like that kind of stuff. But I would rather be more calm and level-headed when I speak, you know, in terms of making videos and whatnot. Now, I love doing visual effects and stuff like that. Now, if you're talking about visual effects and those kind of skits and stuff like that, a lot of that is just a time management thing. Those videos take a very long time to make, and you know, now with a kid, I have to try to do what I can. So a lot of the times, you know, I'll sit in front of my computer, which it is a way to make a video. You know, put on the helmet and mime to some audio. It is a way to make a video, but sometimes I feel cheap doing it. But how is it any different than somebody that just turns on a webcam and points it at themselves and calls themselves a commentator? But yeah, I think it's just kind of the channel ebbs and flows with personality, you know. And over the past 7.5 years, I've certainly changed quite a bit. Well, maybe people would disagree, but I feel like I'm a lot more level-headed than I used to be in my earlier videos. A lot more understanding, empathetic. I understand now that people's Star Wars is different. I'm not hard-headed, and you have to like my Star Wars. The prequels suck. No, I'm not like that at all anymore. And also, all the people that have grown up alongside this channel, right? So I started the channel in 2011, and let's call it 8 years. Let's just call it 8 years. Let's say somebody was 10 years old, right? 10 years old when they started watching me. Or no, 10 years old when I started my channel. Now they're 18 years old, right? They grew up with the Clone Wars. They grew up with the prequels, and that is their Star Wars, and they want to voice their opinion now because they have a voice now that they're older on the internet, you know? So it's just being able to communicate with a lot of different opinions, people with different opinions, has been really, really neat to see. It's kind of made me realize that Star Wars is different for everyone. It is a generational thing. No one knows, you know, Star Wars. My Star Wars isn't any better than someone else's Star Wars, even though I think it is. but it's not. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a generational thing. I'm rambling once again. I told you, brevity is not a skill I have. But Grant, I appreciate the question. 5th year you've been subscribed to the channel. That's awesome. That's hard to believe, man, that you've been hearing this stupid voice for 5 years. But I appreciate that, man. I love hearing that. It's just kind of neat. That's really neat. And thanks for the question once again. I just realized I've been supported for 8 months now. Damn, LT, you got your LT bars there, man. I appreciate that, Psychotic. All right, let's see. The next question comes from the movie critic dude. What are your highest hopes for the Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7? Mine is how the season will tie directly to, and that is exactly what I was thinking too. Mine is well, this is not me. This is movie critic dude. I'm reading this. Mine is how the season will tie directly to events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, as well as some unanswered questions after the series cancellation back in 2013. That is kind of exactly what I'm hoping for too. Well, that's not even really a hope, right? It's more of a curiosity thing, how it's going to tie into the events of Revenge of the Sith. So, what are my hopes? What are my biggest hopes? The thing is, movie critic dude, you know, obviously I haven't finished the series yet. I am, let me see how many arcs I have left. Bear with me real quick. Let me find the image Clone Wars list. So I'm on Night Sisters 1. I'll count Night Sisters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. I'll do it by that. 9, 13, 16, 20, 24, 28. Okay, and 32. So I have 32 episodes left out of all these arcs. So 32, let's see. Okay. All right. That won't be hard. I'm trying to figure out how many. Yeah, that's easy to do. So I have 32 episodes left on my Clone Wars list. It's pretty awesome. So I have a lot left to go, or a lot left to see. You know, I don't know what happens. I have not been spoiled. I refuse to read any comments in my Clone Wars videos, and I'm just incredibly, curious what's going to happen. So you talked about unanswered questions. I don't even have any questions to ask right now, But to hear you, or to read you say, why not? Some unanswered questions has me intrigued. I don't really know the story of the cancellation in 2013. Obviously Disney acquired the franchise. The show was put on a halt, which I think put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, which I get. But now it's back. And maybe they've restructured some things. But my biggest hopes, I just want it to be fun. I would love for it to give more context and tie into Revenge of the Sith, in just an interesting way, if that makes sense. But I appreciate that, Movie Critic Dude. I'm looking forward to it, man. So I only have 32 episodes on this list left, and yeah, that's crazy. I thought, so I have a long time. So how many, let's see. 32. I'm trying to figure out how would I go about that? Every 11 days? Is that what it would be? Every 11 days, basically. In order to finish by the end of the year, every 11 days, I would have to put out a Clone Wars video. That's gonna happen. I mean, that's too spread apart, but it's just kind of interesting to think about. All right. Is the season that Disney making going to be the last season or something? No, I think it is going to be the last season as far as I've heard. Yeah, season 7 I believe is going to be the final chapter for the Clone Wars. It's going to be a conclusion. Yeah. In Raptark, how would you feel about a war story where most soldiers and super soldiers are female teenagers? I don't know. If you, for whatever reason, I picture that like almost like a punk in some kind of like cyberpunk setting. Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, make whatever you want. But there's a comic series called Why the Last Man, which is kind of interesting. For whatever reason, that reminds me of it. It has nothing to do with this. The stories aren't the same, but it just reminds me of it. I don't think the community will survive 11 days between Clone Wars. Well, it's been a lot longer, here and there. I haven't put out a Clone Wars video since Christmas, so how long has that been? How many days has it been since Christmas? Yeah. I've gone a month or longer without putting a Clone Wars video out, I'm curious how many Clone Wars videos I've put out over the past year that I've watched the show. So 3, 6, 9, 13, 17, 20. Oh shit. 23, 29, 31, 33. Well, okay, so I've passed that. I've put out a decent amount. Probably in the 60s or 70s. Interesting. That's interesting. All right. The next question comes from Fifi Gable. Happy New Year with the best of everything. Wait, let me read this. Happy New Year with the best of everything to you and your family this year. Right back at you, Fifi. I was listening to a Star Wars podcast and they were discussing the possible endings of Episode 9. One of the ideas I thought was quite good was where Rey is dying or dead and Kylo redeems himself by bringing her back from the dead, thereby finishing Anakin's arc. saving Shmi and Padme, and sacrificing himself. What say you? And ties into TFA where he finishes what Vader started, more or less. Let me take a sip of water. I think Mad Max came out in the 80s, right? I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think it definitely wasn't the 60s, right? I think it was the 80s. I don't know. Fifi, to tell you the truth, maybe on paper that sounds neat, kind of like bringing it all back. But I don't really. Whenever there's some kind of thing where a character dies and they're brought back to life because Khan's blood, you know what I mean? Which was goofy as shit and Into Darkness. I didn't like that. Whenever there's that kind of stuff, characters bringing brought back to life because of magic. I don't know. It's never done anything for me, So I don't think I would really. I honestly, if that happened, I would probably roll my goddamn eyes out of my skull, because just that trope of a character dying and being brought back to life and being saved, I don't know. It doesn't really do much for me, to tell you the truth, I understand why people connect those dots and come up with these what I guess ideas or possible endings, like you said. I get it. You can connect these dots and maybe put together a full package, a full theory of maybe what happens. But I think like most Star Wars, I think Episode 9 is going to be relatively grounded. I don't think they're going to have any kind of resurrection. I don't think they're going to have any kind of Night Sister potion ritual of invisibility. I don't think they're going to have anything like that, you know what I mean? But there was a 60s Mad. Really? Psychotic. I am super curious. Do, 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 do. 1979. All right, 1979 is the earliest one that I'm seeing. Huh. Mel Gibson, right? Unless there's one that's not on here. Interesting. But yeah, Fifi. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I like my Star Wars relatively grounded and subdued and magical stuff. Holy shit, Admiral Crust, you wrote a goddamn novel there, bud. It's all good. Let me bring this over here so I can see it better. All right. All right. Admiral Crust says, howdy, hope 2019 has started well for everyone. Anyways, I just wanted to let you know that there's a very special game out there that you could potentially stream sometime. If you haven't played it already, it's called Undertale. It's unique. Actually, somebody mentioned this to me the other day. Was it you, Admiral? I don't think it was you. It's a unique 8-bit RPG with one of the best soundtracks ever made for a game, and at its core, it is a very deep and emotional story. I know that people just want to see Star Wars content on your channel and streams. That's understandable. Personally, I don't see your channel like that. Just to give some feedback, I think you could have much more freedom and potential by not limiting yourself to just Star Wars. So I'm letting you know that I'm 100% fine with you branching your channel out to other things like astronomy, Star Trek, movie reviews, game reviews, cooking, and makeup tutorials. Dude, that would be a funny parody video. Apply makeup to my Stormtrooper helmet. Where's my notebook? Alright, TK makeup. It's actually a pretty goddamn funny idea. Let's see. But talking about Undertale, I don't want you to force to stream it. At least I'd recommend that you give it a try. That game is something that other games just can't offer. It certainly had left an impact on me, as it did for millions of people as well. It was gifted to the Pope, for Christ's sake. Really? Well, this is getting too long anyway. Please give Undertale a try and feel free to branch out. Yeah, I would love to. Honestly, Admiral, I've done movie reviews here and there, game reviews here and there as well. Maybe if I had more time, I would make like a secondary channel or something like that, or even just do it on this channel. I've never felt that I could only talk about Star Wars on this channel. I've never felt that way. You know, I've made movie videos. I've talked about Fallout 76. I think I made a BioShock Infinite review video, which was absolute shit. That the review video was, I think. It was like one of my earliest nonsense videos that I made. I might be thinking of something else. I don't know. But yeah, I've never felt pressure to only do Star Wars stuff. I've never felt that way. It just happens. I don't know. It's just the one piece of entertainment that I usually am up to date with. You know what I mean? My wife says that I live under a rock. Sometimes she'll bring something up to me that happened in like pop culture or the world and the news or something like that, and I'll say, I didn't know that, never heard of that. She'll be like, you live under a rock. I kind of do, intentionally so. Intentionally so. I'd be more than happy to live in a cabin. I'd be more than happy to live in the Unabomber cabin, as long as it had good Wi-Fi. But yeah, Admiral, I'll check that out for sure. I don't know, let me see, is it on Xbox? I've been playing a lot of games on Xbox lately, just because, I don't know. Undertale. Oh, it's older than I thought. About 3.5 years old. So, let's see. Where is PlayStation? Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Microsoft Windows, Macintosh, and Linux. I don't see Xbox on here. I guess I could get it for Steam? Undertale. Nintendo Switch, PC. Oh, it's on GOG. Okay. Oh, it's on Humble Bundle. Well, how much is the goddamn thing? Oh, it's $10. Okay. Nice. Okay, yeah, I'd be up for picking this up. It looks neat. It looks neat. Undertale is finally a Nintendo console where it belongs. I wish it was for the Xbox. I guess I could... Can you stream... no. I'll check it out, Admiral. Definitely, I'll check it out. For sure. I appreciate the recommendation. And Odin. The last question on Patreon comes from Odin. Hello there, hello Greedo. How many Star Wars YouTubers do you know? I've met a few, and I'm probably gonna forget their. I'm horrible with names. I've met a few, and it was primarily so. I met Dash Star, super nice guy. I met him at Star Wars Celebration. Actually posted a picture on my Twitter. I think it's the most recent thing that I posted. It's a picture with Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained, and then there's a picture of me with Dash Star. The Dash Star story is that I was walking out of Celebration. I was getting ready to go home. He was walking into the like the convention center, and he passed by me, and I was walking with my buddy, and I said, "Give me one sec, give me one sec," and I ran down and chased him. I chased down Dash, and I said, "Hey man, hey," and I went to shake his hand, and I said, "It's hello Greedo," and his reaction was priceless. He like turned around and was like, "What?" It was just such a fucking cool interaction. It was really neat, man. He's such a nice guy, I later met him again, or hung out with him again, at an EA event for Battlefront 2 out in San Francisco, which was awesome. A lot of fun, too. And then I met Alex and Molly from Star Wars Explained. Like I said, I met them in Atlanta. Me and my wife met up with them for breakfast. A weekend that we went up to Atlanta for my birthday to see a Braves game and just hang out in the city. We got breakfast with them the next morning, and then that was a lot of fun. They're nice people. And I also met them again, hung out with them again at that same EA Battlefront 2 event. Had some beers in the bar, the hotel bar, shot the shit. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. I also met Eckert Slatter, he's a really nice guy. Talked to him a little bit, had a couple beers with him at the hotel as well. Met Cinematic Captures, is that what it is? Mombastico. I met a few people. I met Star Wars Theory. I met very briefly Star Wars HQ. I can't remember Robbie and I can't remember their names. Very briefly, actually in the bathroom. Just a little, what's going on, man? That's it. But yeah, so I've met a few. It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat when you're all doing the same kind of thing, and you see these people on the screen, and get to sit down and have a conversation with them, and it's just, I don't know, it's just really cool. Just really cool. Really cool. But all right, guys, that's all for Patreon questions. Nice. What am I gonna do tonight? I think, well, unless my wife is watching an episode of Outlander right now, which she might be, then we're going to watch an episode of Narcos Mexico together. And if you guys haven't seen Narcos, the 2 seasons with Pablo Escobar are awesome. They're the best. But the season right now with Narcos Mexico is awesome. It's on par with those first 2 seasons. Yeah. All right, guys. It's time for me to get going. Psychotic, I want to meet you, Greedo. That is my life goal. No, shoot higher than that, man. Shoot way higher than that. That should not be your life goal. I appreciate the sentiment, but hearing North Americans try to pronounce Latino American names is funny. Pablo Escobar, Mexico, Guadalajara, Guatemala. You want me to keep going? Raptor. No, I'm sure it's funny, man. Hearing other people, it's funny to hear, and not in any kind of, people always get so bent out of shape. It's not any kind of poking fun at the person who's mispronouncing it, right? It's just not their native language, so it's just funny in not a hurtful way. It's funny in a that's funny kind of way to hear people speak in your native language words that they are not used to saying because it is not their native language. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sure hearing me say Pablo Escobar when you know exactly how it should sound does sound pretty funny. But all right, guys, I gotta get going. You goofy bastards. Alright, guys. Psychotic Raptark Dalthier. I see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for sticking around tonight and hanging out with me for a little over an hour. I appreciate that, guys. And everybody that was here, Jason96, Game Station 3, Mad Dog, Brandon Phantasmic Ears, Imperial Academy, AT chat stopped by, Tom Davis. Nice. All right, guys. Game Station 3 and Jason96, thank you so much for these super chats tonight, man. I appreciate that. So tomorrow I will probably do an hour stream of just Battlefront. Also, Saturday is going to be when the Vader fan film review is going up. Hopefully I'll have that all done tomorrow and scheduled to upload on Saturday. And Sunday will be the first episode of the Night Sisters arc. So, all right, guys. As always, have fun, be nice, kick some ass. And I will talk to everybody later, all right? Battlefront stream tomorrow. Catch you on the flip side, all right? I usually end up missing them because YouTube doesn't send me a notification in time. I don't get, Dalthier, I don't understand the YouTube notification system. You subscribe to a channel, you want to get notified, right? Especially when they go live, especially when you're a supporter, right? You should immediately get notified, I would think. I don't know, YouTube needs to figure that shit out, because sometimes, like, I'll launch my streams, and there'll be barely anybody watching them until, like, the 40-minute mark, and then all of a sudden, it's like notifications go out, and there's 200 people watching. It's weird. It's weird how it works, but... Alright, guys. Time to hop off. I'm going to play that song that you just heard, because I love it so much. But, alright, as always, take it easy, have fun, enjoy the rest of your evening or morning, wherever the hell you are on planet Earth, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.